Hi, everyone. Welcome today to our talks with the council. And today is on how to become more effective change makers. And we're also going to be asking some questions of the council to explain who they are and why they do what they do. I am Gail Suitor of Ignite Changemakers, and I have my facilitator here, Melissa Sleath. Melissa, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Melissa.
She's also an energy healer and working on starting her own business. So I'm honored that you're here, Melissa. Thank you so much for doing this with us.
Thank you for letting me be a part of it.
So we are going to start off with questions from Melissa to show how it's done and how the council interacts with others. And then we'll open it up to other people who are in the audience. Approximately 55 minutes out, we will have an alarm that goes off so we can wrap it up. All right, here we go. So I start off with just a quick meditation, and then they come in and they usually say something like, "We are here," or "You may ask," or something like that. Melissa knows. I'm going to take out my earbuds because they do not like that. They're here.
Hi, thank you for joining us today. We are here to talk about how to become effective change makers. But first, could you lead us through a short meditation to set the intention for this gathering?
Yes, we are honored to be with you all. We ask that the other participants, if they would like to participate in this meditation, sit comfortably, preferably with feet on the ground. Now we're going to start. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. We will do this 3 times. We ask that you all leave behind what was happening before this meeting. We have come together today to bring clarity, unity, love, connection, and understanding. You are all here as active change makers in this lifetime. We appreciate your efforts. We want to activate all the questions you need to answer to fulfill your purpose during this lifetime. We will take 3 more deep breaths as we come back to this space. You may ask.
My first question is, can you explain to us why you have chosen to do this through Gail? And what is the purpose of interacting with all of us?
Gail was open She also had this as part of her life purpose. She has always been with and worked with the council. However, we do talk through other people. It is not just Gail. This is what we do as a council. We are on this plane as guides and, how do we say it? Teachers and learners, for we learn from you as you learn from us. But we do operate on this specific plane as guides to help incarnated souls live into their purpose and accelerate their learning. Many of us have just done this for our existence. However, some on the council have incarnated once or twice and then came back with that information to sort of upgrade or up level their ability to interpret how others feel while incarnated. You may ask.
I have heard of other people channeling the council also. And are you the same part of that council, or is there different councils with different angelic beings in it?
There are many of us. There are many different groups that work as teams together. The word council seems to be more accurate in the description of how we work together. There are other channelers that have other names, Abraham, Theo. However, it is usually also a group, and they call themselves groups. So as our understanding of your understanding increases, we try to pick a name that is an accurate description of how it works on this plane.
Thank you. How many are there in your council?
We are not a group that is only a group unto ourselves, so it is not a limited number. It is whoever needs to be called on for that expertise at that time. So at one session, you may talk to 2 or 3, and some other sessions, you may talk to as many as 10, depending on how long the session is or how many subject changes there are within that session. But it is not like we are just one thing, or we are not an individual that can only do one thing at a time. So if my expertise as the angel that I am is called upon in more than one spot or moment, then I can communicate with several different outlets at the same time. Time is hard for us because it is a thing that happens on Earth, that is used on Earth, but here there is really no time. It is connections, multiple connections that are going on simultaneously.
Thank
So
you for
that is why sometimes we say your past lives are happening at the same time as your current life, because this is helping you understand that they are all happening at the same time. This is why, if you come as healers, you can heal not only yourself of the energetic blocks, but you can also heal your genetic tribe at the same time, because they are all living at the same time on maybe different planes or dimensions. This is a hard thing for us to describe because of limited understanding at this moment where you are at. But yes, as healers, you can heal what you would consider past lives. You can heal future lives because they are all happening simultaneously within your souls. It's not an orbit because that means they're going around, but within your soul's energetic form. You may ask.
Thank you. Thank you for that explanation. That's very interesting to think about. So if we are healers in this life, were we past life healers also?
Yes, it is about your soul's frequency, your soul's learning pattern. So you can see this in the way that the unique souls manifest on Earth. Each one has a unique frequency. That particular soul will have gifts or knowledges or seek further understanding that is based on their frequency. So some may be healers, some may be activators. There's such an array, it's hard to explain, but it is like what you see in a rainbow on your earth. There is many colors that blend into other colors. They are all different light frequencies. Well, this is true for the soul frequencies. So they are not just separated. There is a blending between frequencies, and some may be in between the healer and the warrior, or they may be in between the healer and the activator. Some may be strictly one color frequency. So it is, again, hard to describe, but if you can think of the billions of souls that have been on Earth and will always continue to be on Earth, if you think of that it is never separated, past, present, future, then you will understand that there are so many frequencies and they are all unique. Much like the study of the snowflake, surprising the scientific community that each individual crystal is unique. And imagine how many flakes are in a 6-foot snowstorm, and they will never be reproduced again. So it is much like that. It is hard to comprehend as a whole, I imagine, but it is true. You may ask.
Thank you. Let's see. Do you have any suggestions on how to navigate through these turbulent times of change currently?
Yes, we are gathering our thoughts, maybe switching angels. As we have spoken of before, you have all agreed your soul is here to learn and participate in bringing unity on Earth. This means that you have each decided to play a role in bringing this about. While many outlets of media and reflecting turbulence, we always like to remind you that 98% of what is going on Earth is loving, peaceful interactions of connection. It is just not as attention grabbing for the media outlets. This is more mundane because it is more common. So when you see the turbulence highlighted on the media outlets or social media or wherever you are seeing them, you need to remember that this is unique. This is not norm, because if it was norm, it would not be so interesting. The norm feels more peaceful and mundane. But each of you is responsible for healing yourselves. Because when you are watching those events of people and humans warring with each other or saying hurtful things, these are people that are triggered by energy blocks of the past or beliefs or limiting beliefs. So if you focus on your limiting beliefs and your triggers, you will not become a reactive human being. You will become a human being that lives in unity with curiosity and openness. Hate is not a true emotion. It is a strong energy that flows through the body, but could also be construed as love. It is just the message that goes with it. It is someone you fear or it is someone you welcome. So if it is someone you welcome, you label it love. If it is someone you fear due to differences or beliefs about that person, then it is hate or maybe not hate, but fear that then makes you dislike or not trust them. We want you to look, as you look at the turbulence, what is triggered within you. Because if you are looking at the turbulence, you can be an observer of what happens when people believe in differences and separation. This is what has been going on Earth for many generations. Souls have come here to learn about separation and differences. And as it has shown, it causes damage because it is an untruth, limiting belief. Because everyone is created with the exact same energy. Everything that you see in this earthly domain is really just an energetic form. And interestingly, two people could be sitting in the same room and notice different things. It is like different energies flowing to each person. So their video game is totally different based on what they are collecting, based on the energy that they are noticing. This may feel unsettling, but it is the truth of how the energetic form comes to being. So if you are experiencing something you don't like, it's important to change your channel. This may be physical, this may also just be mental. You can choose what data you're collecting. You can make your brain collect data on love, unity, and kindness and connection. You will see it everywhere. You can also make your brain believe or collect data on things that are hurting each other. So you will notice the people who say something offhand, maybe not with the intention of hurting someone, but somebody else, filtering that as a hurtful situation. But if you think about it that way, it is just the way we filter and label. So you can filter and label differently. You can observe the data that is coming through without labeling it. You can say, isn't that interesting? You can notice how the things work, how people create the lives that they are living through their beliefs and what they notice. And it is very interesting to observe. This is what we do. We can only help with what you ask. So if you say, I do not want this person to be the president, then we will bring you more energy about not wanting this person to be president. If you say, I want to be filled with love, peace, and unity, and I want to be the change maker, to be the one that welcomes in love, peace, and unity, then we help you notice that energy. We bring more energy in that way. So this is how we interact with your incarnation. However, it is important to note that your incarnation is in charge of what we bring to you. We are not in charge. You have the freedom of choice to learn about different things in this incarnation. All of it is valuable. All of it increases universal consciousness. So even the people who have chosen to learn about hate, discrimination, violence, it is all just learning. It is not necessarily good or bad. We do not see it as any different. It is just more information to observe. However, we are excited for the change makers that are on Earth to learn about the one energy that goes through everything in what we like to say is similar to a video game. This is a new place for learning. This is a place that we could use growth, which is what we're always trying to do, which is expand our understanding. This is true for all of us on this plane and all of you who are incarnated. You may ask.
I do actually have somebody that would like to ask a question that's relative to what you were just saying, if that's okay.
Excellent.
Brian, if you would like to ask your question, please do.
I will. I just wanted to say it's a pleasure to meet the council. It's an honor to be in your presence. Melissa, thank you. And my question here is this. It sparked my imagination when you were speaking of how simultaneity is what the truth is, where past and future and present are all interflowing, all in a simultaneous way. And it made me curious to know if you guys are existing in an absolute universe where everything stays the same, having the ability to see people on a relative plane, like we're in the relative universe. And is the fact that we are living where things are relative to another thing, is that why time exists? Is that the human construct of time is just observing what we think of as motion?
This is a good question. Let us take a moment. It is many questions in one.
Yes.
So first, we will answer the question of does our dimension stay the same? No. We too are constantly growing energies. So this is through learning, through experience, through collecting understanding of others' experiences that we work with. So no, our plane never stays the same. We are trying to figure out how to bring this to your understanding so it makes more sense. Maybe if you look at the theory of the Big Bang. So we are not saying that this theory is accurate, but there are points of accuracy where the universe is constantly growing. Correct? This energy is constantly growing. So this is true if you look at each soul, whether it is an angel of teaching that we are, or whether it is a soul that is learning through incarnations on Earth or other areas, then all of those souls are constantly expanding and growing. We like to say they're spheres of energy, so it's more of a three-dimensional, 4 or 5, many dimensions that help us grow. But think of the stars. They are energetic spheres, such as your sun, with many rays. This is similar to how souls are, many rays, but one center. So the one center is experiencing everything at the same time. However, each individual ray feels isolated or that it is not connected. So you are one ray of your soul. However, you can reach into the oversoul and heal other rays. Your energetic clearing of your reactions or blocks or beliefs can also clear through the energetic middle into the other rays and change that experience. This is maybe a more accurate way of how it works. But each time there is information coming to that sphere, it is growing. So there is no place that is static. Were there other questions in that question?
Thank you, first of all. That was a wonderful explanation, and it helped me to understand a wonderful metaphor. It was a wonderful metaphor and gave me understanding in terms of spiritual, our growth as spirits, and kind of how that works over time. But I guess I'm still a little confused as to just how time works and the purpose of it. It's just strange. It's hard for me to understand how it's possible for there really not to be, how there's both. It seems like there's two realities. There's one reality in which in the human body, I'm experiencing 50 something years of being where I am right now as this incarnation. But I'm also aware that in the same 50 years that I've been living, it's always been the same soul that existed many years ago that will continue to exist in the future. So I can understand it from like a metaphorical point of view that I'm carrying past and future with me in the present, which is kind of what I'm getting from you. And that it's better to look at time as a continuum of all of that rather than trying to eke out like, well, what year was my, third incarnation, my seventh incarnation, and trying to break it out like through time itself, if you understand what I'm getting at.
Yes. So the reason why it is confusing is that time is a construct of Earth, so that when you try to apply time to non-earthly things, it no longer works. So the reason why time came upon Earth is at those incarnations of belief is that you can only connect through agreement of time. The agreement that we have come together at this session at 11:30 Mountain Time, which interestingly is a totally different time all around Earth. It could actually be a different day depending on where you are on Earth. So that alone will show you how time does not really work when applied to other things. So the confusion comes when trying to apply a belief or an understanding of Earth's incarnation, that you believe in time as the way to connect, which is not true. You could choose to connect through energetically, and this is how you can change your past lives. There is no time. So they all happen at the same time and they are all connected. The simultaneous notion of this all being one is true. It is the time that is not true. Time is a limiting belief that has served its purpose in the limitations of believing that you are isolated from others and there is only one way to connect, and that is based on an analytical construct of at this moment. However, you probably could have met and learned from others without ever knowing time, just by attracting each other's energy or connecting through different planes. Think of that. What if you never had to know a time? What if you could access knowledge, other souls, co-create with others without actually being physically together on Earth? You could be incarnated at the same time, but not be together. It is a bit like Zoom, correct? You can co-create on this platform without being in the same room. This is true. You can also connect energetically the same way. Many of people call this telekinesis or telepathy. There is ways. And it would be interesting to start exploring that with maybe some other partners willing to let go of the belief in time for a way to connect. It is going to be a very fun change for all of you. Many less limitations. So I guess we would like to say that when you get to something that is confusing you, it might be a good time to ask yourself, is this a limiting belief? Is this confusing thing not true? Not part of the whole experience? Does this make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian, for your question. That was a really good one.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions? And I can ask my question at the end so we can get everybody in.
Yeah, I have a question.
Go ahead, Sharon.
It's a little bit, I guess, more personal than just how the council works. But my question is, I've kind of gone through some changes in my life, and I was wondering if the council has any messages for me in my next step in my journey, my awakening.
Yes. So all these changes that have happened or that you have gone through have gifts wrapped inside each one. Some may have been hard. Some may have been fun. But all of them taught you things that are gifts. One thing we would like to encourage you to think about as you look back and observe your life is that things don't happen to you, they happen for you. This may change the perspective of how you look at the history that you have gone through. Now, once you do that, you will notice the gifts within. They will help you understand your frequency and how you are working to become a change maker. Each gift that you have is meant to be offered to others. Each experience that has happened for you has given you a story that can help them understand that you know where they are at. So each one has brought maybe a tool to your toolbox. We dare say that this might be an uplifting activity for you to look at the hard times in different ways. In a more curious, open way of that it may not have been a bad time. It may have been difficult, but it definitely accelerated learning. So there could be a shift of gratitude for each tool that you have collected through this accelerated learning. Then you look at each tool in your toolbox. How do you use this to bring unity? How do you use this to heal other energetic blocks in others that you come across? Each tool will be utilized in your purpose. Is this helpful?
Yes, very much. I've definitely felt that in the recent months. So thank you for the confirmation.
Yes, we knew you had known this already. This is often how we are used, to just repeat what you already know. It is okay to trust your intuition and your knowing. You have always had the gifts that you need, and you are well prepared to go forth as you and as a change maker that you have come to be. Explore any little doubts that you have within you, because they are only fears created by your mind. They are not true. You are more powerful than you have ever known. Each time your soul has a ray, it comes back to that center and makes each ray more powerful. You are not here by accident. You are not an imposter. No one is. Shed the mask of trying to fit in and embrace your uniqueness. Bring those tools out to play, for they will help others and bring unity to others within themselves. You feel this, we can tell. Do not doubt it anymore. It is time for you to step out. You are safe. You are powerful. And you are here to make a difference. And that difference is to bring unity and studying of oneness and understanding oneness, even though many like to focus on the differences. You may ask,
Do you have anything else, Shanny, you'd like to say, or are you good?
No, I just really appreciate that. It was very uplifting and very positive to hear. So thank you, Council.
we appreciate your efforts on the universe's behalf. Each one of you have come here as brave souls, excited to bring in a new way of learning. Each of you are experts in your own fields and have walked forth before. This time, however, you are much safer than maybe other times or other incarnations. This time, you will be utilizing it for the benefit of all souls, so that other souls can come to learn about oneness. It's a big job, but very exciting. Many of you have felt like you've won the lottery to be here at this time, because it is such an accelerated place of learning and confirmation of skills and up-leveling of frequencies. We like to thank you for your efforts and for inviting us in. You may ask.
My question is also to do with just the current state of the world right now. But there have been a lot of crazy weather events such as floods, fires. Could you tell us a little bit about the changes in our natural environments? And is this part of an energetic change towards unity that's coming?
Not many people have dialed into that. Excellent question. Yes, this Earth's environment will be changing with the unity experiment, because there won't be the same necessities. There won't be the natural resource requirements that have been needed for the current situation of learning about separation differences, which then caused hoarding and belief in not enough. For when unity comes, everybody understands that we can organize the energy into anything we need. It does not have to be taken from one being or another, or the earth or the planet. It is a reorganization of energetic patterns that will create what we need, similar to manifestation. But it will be more it will appear, this is difficult to explain. It will appear to be that the organization of energy creates physical things. But in order to do this, the understanding that everything that each of you have considered physical, maybe it's a coin in your hand or a stick that you're using to walk with, thinking that this stick has come from a tree. It is actually an energetic form of organized energy that creates this individual or being or thing. You all will be able to do that. You will organize the energy into a stick without having to find a tree to cut the stick off to use as a walking stick. So this will change what Earth provides and how it provides it and what it looks like. Mining wouldn't that be necessary. Harvesting the trees, not necessary. It will look different. So do not fear the environmental changes. It is not necessary to protect planet Earth because she is her own being. She protects herself. She has wiped out many others that have lived here before. But this is not the end of the human experience on Earth, or this is not, we hate to say the end because, see, then we are relying on your belief of time. This is not the only experience that souls can have on this planet. So as you usher in unity and the study of oneness of energy, this becomes a new way of being able to utilize the energy to organize what you need instead of relying on the planet to supply what you need. Now, we are not saying that we hope everyone goes and kills everything that's ever lived on this planet. They are no longer needed. That is not true. It is up to the earth. She will manage it all. But it is not something to catastrophize, if that is a word, to say this is the end. No, this is the beginning of a new way of being. You may ask.
Does that relate to climate change as well then?
Of course.
Okay.
There has been many climate changes through that Earth has created. Earth will heal the damage that has been done by the beliefs of separation and division and believing that one must have more, and that more can only come from the planet. It will heal, but it will look differently than it does because it will not be required to manufacture based on beliefs. There will not only be more unity between people, or it will also be more energetic unity within the whole universe of your experience of these incarnations. People have walked this earth before in unity with the earth's energy, and they will again. But this time they will be unified together. It will be beautiful, but it will look not the same as it does currently. You are in Colorado. This has been an ocean before. The fossils show that. So, as that time has changed, so will the earth. Your experience of the earth will be different from the ones that come in unity. You may ask.
Thank you. That's actually a very positive thing to know. I think that a lot of people are very worried about that. So I think that that's very helpful to know all of that. My son has one last question that he would like for me to ask you. Is the council?
This again is a time thing, yes. So it does not apply. It is as old as the universe. Each soul was not as big as it currently is, and it will be bigger as we grow in understanding. But the age is an interesting thing. Your scientists have always been interested in aging things. How many years ago was the Earth when dinosaurs were walking? But from our perspective, dinosaurs still walk. It's just a different dimension. So it is not true that it is time. It is all dimensional. So this is a question we cannot answer. But we have experience. We have been collecting experiences and understanding for ever since we have existed. The question of when did the universe start or exist? This has always been there. We are trying to see if we can answer that. The Big Bang Theory is not far off that there was a smaller existence or a smaller dimension, or all the dimensions were once smaller and then now have expanded like a explosion. It is an explosion of growth. It is hard to explain the seed. Energy has always been, it is similar to the question of what is this universe expanding into? It is a perception problem that we cannot bring to the level of this current incarnation's understanding. It is not been discovered in this conscious realm at this moment. So there is not the language It is like a no thing, nothingness that we expand into. But the energy continues to organize. So the energy has always been, but each addition makes it more complex, and growth causes growth. That is our best way of understanding it. It is a bit like a seed that grows into something bigger, that is fed by all the energy that is around it. This is not a comprehensive answer due to the lack of language to explain. However, this conscious understanding will be created as the study of unity happens, because the energy will begin to be understood in a more profound way, which will allow the understanding of how it interacts. That is what is coming. What an excellent question from a change maker that may be here to increase that understanding through their learning about that oneness of energy. Do you see what we talk about when we talk about the next few generations? These are the questions that they will answer. Interestingly enough, not many people have looked at it in that way to begin with. This is a new way. We hope this has helped. We know it does not make sense at this current moment, but maybe there is glimpses of the reality or the understanding or the interaction of energy that was helpful. You may ask.
Thank you. He said that was helpful in helping him to understand the aspects of that. So I appreciate that. And I think that we are getting down to closing time. If you would like to leave any closing messages, and then I would also like to ask, I know you mentioned at the beginning, if anybody would like to level up their energy at this time also.
Sure, as we require, each person who would like that needs to give us permission. So as the facilitator, you will see that people want to participate or not. We will understand within our own way. But it is good for each of you to acknowledge. Are we ready?
Yes.
Yes.
We will begin. As we up-level these frequencies, we have been pleased this week to participate, or this session. We would like each of you to observe the quality of questions and the essence behind them, and how much more complex they have been. So each time your frequency or experience is up-leveled, this opens a new level of understanding, questioning. We want to confirm that each of you has the ability to access universal knowledge. Yes, we are a portal for that and helping build understanding, and we are always honored to serve, but each one of you has your own fleet of guides ready to serve your frequency. They will be on your frequency. The interesting thing about the council is that there are experts from all frequencies. However, for your purpose in life, many times it is better to reach out to your personalized frequency guides because they are the experts in what you are here to create. As you access them, remember, you only need to ask. It does not need to feel extraordinary as if you're channeling or something different. It is just an intuition, a knowing, and it will be experienced in your way, whether it is through automatic writing, through breath, through a gut instinct, through insights, through your curiosity. Trust that all of those are true. We are always happy to confirm, but we hope that you understand you are the expert and you are walking with everything you need, and that you can trust that intuition. If it comes from your soul, it will be about love, unity, understanding, and connection. If it comes from an overactive brain, it will be about labeling differences, analyzing, separating, fear, doubt. Then you know those thoughts are coming from an overactive brain. This is not your soul. It is interesting to observe those messages, though they may give you hints on energetic blocks or experiences that need to be healed. So they are not to be ignored as much as they are to be observed and questioned. We thank you for your time today. We are honored to serve, and we hope that you remember to see yourselves as we see you each day, the radiant experts of change, bringing in unity. This is not your first rodeo, as they say. Each of you have come as the experts that you are. Peel back any beliefs that do not serve you. We are complete.
Thank you for your time today. Hello.
Hello.
That was a really great one.
Ooh.
You're back.
I'm back, kind of. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah.
That was a really good session and really a lot of good good questions and answers.
I always can hear things, and I think some of it is what you guys hear, and then some of it isn't. So I'm excited to listen back to the thing because I know the questions we created, I really want to know the answer to.
There was some great answers to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, Gail,
Yeah.
this is Brian below.
Hi, Brian.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us.
It was a wonderful experience getting to meet the council. It just was beautiful. Thank you for that opportunity.
You're welcome. It's there, I guess I've been in contact with them for actively for the last 2 or 3 years, and a lot of the things that they say or I write down or whatever, I'm like, well, we'll see. But it's really interesting how whenever I say that, it usually comes true. And usually when I'm like, we'll see, is more about my limiting beliefs of what I think to be true than the actual reality of what they're saying. So it's always interesting. Their messages are always very interesting, and they definitely have moved me along in my life and questioning why I don't believe certain things. So it's good. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for joining, everybody.